Hello everyone. I am starting to record the video meeting at 11:58 with the Apple time. It has some difference with time.com. Let's see the punctuality of the guest at this moment. So we will be waiting Niels, and I am going to make some exercises during this process. But this is part 2 of artificial intelligence to reduce corruption. I apologize for a while. My device got crashed. I can close it completely. I am not sure what happened, but I am going to use for a while. After I will be done, nobody appeared. So we will start. I just did another video meeting related with this. We are celebrating, or at least in my case, I am promoting the celebration of anti-corruption war, planetary anti-corruption war today, because yesterday Niels was not able to participate in our video meeting. He told us that he will be able today. Niels attended the video meeting. Hi Niels. Hi Niels, how are you doing?
Hey Andres, can you hear me?
Yes, I am hearing you. How are you doing?
I'm good. Give me 1 second. I just need to connect my headphones.
Great. So I want to divide the video meeting in only 4 goals, rather with the 5 point of the situation of Colombia. I am not sure if we want to talk about it. I just did another video in order to talk about this previous video meeting and some effort that we were talking to yesterday with the people from Ecuador and Colombia. So let me know what you think about it.
1 sec. Okay, now I can hear you. Can you say again what you just said?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I am hearing you.
Okay, great. Now I have you on my headphones. Can you say again what you just said? Because Can you just repeat it? I couldn't hear you.
Okay. So I was telling you that I want to propose 4 goals in our 45 minutes video meeting. The first one was related with the evaluate potential scheme for designing services related to anti-corruption algorithms or methods for countries. We were talking about it yesterday. For example, 2 persons, one from Colombia and another one from Ecuador, they have some projects. The thing that is that we need to think how we can offer together that kind of services. And at this case, I would like to know how are you offering your services, and if you have a partnership with you for Anti-Corruption Center in order to reach the second goal. The third goal that is this called the brainstorms about the strategies for negotiation with potential partners, team members, and countries. So I would like to hear you about it.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Hi, hello.
Hello, Boris and Daniel. Yeah, I was talking with Niels. Anyhow, anyway, the video meeting will be recorded. That we would like to discuss about the scheme that they are offering the services of anti-corruption algorithms in different states in order to evaluate how we can make a partnership for it. I was talking that, for example, Boris is offering some services in Colombia, and Manuel Hernandez is also some services in Ecuador. So we would like to know, in that case, we need about it, and we want to know if he have a partnership with U4 Anti-Corruption Center because he have some connections of U4 Anti-Corruption Center. So we hear you, Neil.
Yeah, great. First of all, I want to apologize for not showing up yesterday. I just made a mistake in my scheduling, so I'm sorry about it.
I can hear you well because it is raining.
Say again?
Now I'm hearing better.
You hear me well? Give me a sec. Maybe then I'll change my Is it better now?
Yeah, a little bit.
You hear me all right?
Yes, I am hearing you now.
Okay. Yeah, so just wanted to say apologies for not showing up yesterday. It was really a scheduling mistake. I had this meeting down for today, so yeah, sorry about that. And then to your first question, what are we doing in the field of AI and anti-corruption? So I am.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now I'm hearing you.
What about the others? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, now I'm hearing you. Now I'm hearing you.
That's weird.
Yeah, everybody's listening but him.
Okay.
Maybe check out your internet connection.
Now I am hearing.
Time's up.
I can also switch off my video if you want to. Happy to switch off my video. I mean, you saw me how I look like. So there's no reason for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying. So I come from this topic from the perspective of an academic. So I'm in the Life Institute here in Berlin, the Center for Humans and Machines. We are basically exploring possibilities how AI could be used to fight corruption. And what we do there is both work on it conceptually, so like really trying to get an overview of what are the different approaches that are being used right now, so that you evaluate them. We're also doing research that tries to test.
I am hearing very, very, very low.
You hear me very low.
Now I'm hearing you.
Okay. I see Boris is speaking, but I think you're on mute, Boris.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boris is speaking. Let me tell something in Spanish.
Yeah, sure. You're on mute though.
Yes.
Andrés, cuando la persona está hablando, de pronto tú estás sintiendo un letargo o un retraso. Entonces, quizás por eso es que no estás escuchando al tiempo que se habla. Hay que verificar que no sea tu conexión a internet.
Bueno, pues
Conectar el video de pronto para minimizar ese
yo ya quité el video, voy a desactivar el micrófono también. Entonces, para ver. Si ustedes sí oyen, pues yo no escucho, pero si ustedes oyen, pues bueno. Espero que graben entonces la llamada para luego escuchar. Yo no estoy oyendo acá nada. ¿Listo? Bueno, yo voy a apagarle el micrófono. I am going to cancel the mic, okay? We hear you again, Niels. Sometimes I hear you,
Okay,
and now I am hearing you very well now at this moment. Maybe you are
very good.
okay.
Okay, let me just get back into what I said earlier. So, a few things I said so far. So first thing I said is sorry for not showing up yesterday. I don't know if you heard it. Second thing I said is I am an academic by training, so I'm coming from working at the Max Planck Institute for Human Development, the Center for Humans and Machines, which is a research institute here in Berlin. Excuse me. And what we are doing is trying to get an overview of how AI is being used right now to fight corruption. And we have done that in a paper where we summarize the different ways how different countries have been using AI, both from top down by governments and corporations, but also bottom up by civil society organizations and NGOs. And what we're doing also is we conduct research on trying to understand how such systems should be used to be successful in the fight against corruption, because it's a challenge to implement these systems correctly. And in our paper, we outline a few of the concrete challenges that exist when using AI to fight corruption. That's the first thing to answer your question, like what is sort of what we're doing. The second thing I can say is I have worked with U4. I've written a report together with David Jackson from U4 on social norms of corruption. Together also with Daniel Iragori, who's actually Colombian, and we worked together on this project. And I've since then kept my contacts with U4. So they are an organization that sits in Bergen and kind of coordinate the anti-corruption efforts of multiple countries. So if you have a concrete project or proposal to them, I'm happy to pass it on. Especially David, it would be very easy to pass on any concrete suggestions. So that's just to you all have a more or less understanding who I am and what I'm doing.
Niels,
Uh,
Niels,
Yes, of course, I hear you.
can you please write down in the chat of this conversation the company that you are talking about? I understood U4.
Yes, U4 is called it's the Anti-Corruption Research Center. I'll post it in the chat so you can have a look. This is U4. Yeah, it's in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
And what U4 does is they coordinate the anti-corruption efforts of multiple stakeholders. So, for example, the German government, I think Australian government, the Norwegian government, and they have a really active, they are a really active platform for any topics related to corruption. So, for example, they have publications that are for the help desk answers. So, you could, for example, write a question to them and they give you an answer. And they have also written a report, which I will link in the chat as well. It's openly accessible on how AI can be used to fight corruption. They wrote this in 2019. I'll post it in the chat. So this report basically gives an overview of all the different approaches that were around at this time. And I'm also going to share with you a paper that we wrote on this topic that is a bit more up to date, where we kind of summarize all the different approaches that we could identify where people are using AI to fight corruption around the world.
so, so, Niels, in this case, I understand the scope of the current organization that with you for and your company where you're working at this moment. But I would like to evaluate how do you think that we can make a partnership to negotiate these services. For example, in the case of Colombia, it is very difficult to negotiate with the government because they don't want to apply anything with corruption. At this case, we have, for example, an strategy with non-profits that we are or structuring in Colombia and with some stakeholders across the globe. And I would like to evaluate how we can make that partnership. For example, we can lead the negotiation process, and at this case, we would like to conduct any kind of intention letter. For example, that if we negotiate some agreement, your company or you for anti-corruption center could be interested in support what we are doing. Yesterday we were talking about the feasibility of design software, or in the case of patents, data system and methods. And I have some ideas to tackle the corruption, and we would like to evaluate if you are offering at this moment specific services for governments, or you are only conducting, for example, the state of art of artificial intelligence and creating reports and informing about the different uses in different countries. I think that it is very important in order to innovate. But what I would like to do with this first approach is to think how to design services. For example, in the case of our NGO, regular 3/4, we offer 4 services, and one of the services is related with anti-corruption algorithms. In this case, for example, I can have some ideas because I am an aspiring inventor in data system and methods. I drafted 2 patents. I am like a software designer, but I do not have an structured software company. And in order to negotiate it with the government, we need to uh, make different partnerships with current companies with goodwill and know-how in that field in order to innovate together. That is like our initial proposal. What do you think about it? Do you like to evaluate a proposal, and you can scale it with your current company where are you working, and with your foreign anti-corruption center? Because I was talking with someone else from anti-corruption center. We were waiting for a video meeting last year, but he's not working anymore in U4, and he was waiting in one of the groups. And the other people from U4 never replied me when I wrote them by the chat of LinkedIn. I also Christopher Sterk, that I think that he's your friend too. He maybe you told me that you will talk with him, and he could be interested in make something like this. The point is that if we design the service, we can offer to different countries. For example, in our case, we are aware that government is not very are not very interested in make something like this, but we have been creating different partnership with social leaders because they can pressure it, and we also need to make a legal strategy in order to force the 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 need of use artificial intelligence via judges. That's what we are trying to do in Colombia, because I have been negotiating approximately 8 years trying to use a particular use of technology to reduce corruption in the particular use of reading the damage in road bumps. For example, I never wants to make something like this because there are a lot of corruption. So the point is that we need to understand the academic field and approach, but in the reality, there are a lot of challenges in order to negotiate it. And in this case, we can make a partnership. We also was planning to create partnership with potential team members, or with, for example, students who could be interested in make projects with artificial intelligence, and we want to define a collaborative scheme for working. We already have an scheme. We can share it. We can evaluate it. And well, that's like what we want. We want to design the services in order to reach the goals quickly, and we want to make it globally. That's like the approach.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Maybe to clarify one thing that I don't know if it has become clear. So when it comes to services that I can offer, I think that is quite limited because like I said, I'm an academic, so I don't do the hands-on software development or like you say, like the actual AI part. I know a little bit about it, but I'm not technically skilled enough to actually do something.
Can you speak harder, please?
Yes. So can you hear me now?
Yes, A little bit better.
Is that on your end or mine? And I don't understand because I already changed my loudspeaker. I think it should be working now. Is it still not better? You can still not hear me.
I am not hearing you very well, but you were talking in the last time well, but I don't know what happened. Maybe your microphone is far, something like this.
Yeah, I'm actually right at it. I'm yelling into my computer.
Yeah, now I'm hearing better.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm saying is basically just to clarify one thing. I I don't work for a company, so I don't have any concrete services to offer. Like I cannot actually offer anything in terms of the concrete implementation of algorithms to fight corruption. What I'm working on is research, so I do research on these topics. So I think if your goal is to actually implement these systems in Colombia or Ecuador or elsewhere, I the only thing I could add to it is to sort of think about research questions that could be tested in order to evaluate these systems to see how well they are actually doing. And so, other than that, I'm afraid I cannot be of much help. I think I could ask the people from your four if they are interested in supporting you. I have some contacts there. If you send me a complete proposal, I'm happy to pass it on. But in terms of services that I offer, I think I'm not the right person to talk to because I'm a researcher.
But I think that the research stage is very important in order to innovate. I think that we can evaluate a way to match both the skills. In fact, for example, like you are always you make the effort to keep on the prior art of this problem. You can have connections with people who are working in this case. uh, we can create something like this. We can be open to match with different people from the ecosystem of anti-corruption methods and algorithms, and I think that it could work. So the point is that, for example, I think that you can focus on the research stage, but we can also work with some partners who can work coding the methods, for example. We can make partnerships. The point is that if we want to negotiate, for example, with a researcher, with your experience, with your connections, it will give more uh, confidence to potential countries, because we will keep in the edge. So the point is that I would like to make that kind of partnerships. I can lead the negotiation. At my case, I can help to provide ideas to create methods. I have some ideas at this moment, and I think that in the research point, what I'm trying to propose to humanity is that we need to focus in the solution of corruption like a scientific and technological problem, not only like a cultural problem. And I feel very confident that with artificial intelligence and with software in particular, we can solve this issue. I'm going to give an example of in Colombia. For example, the Minister of Public Finances of Colombia shared in a website that they have subscribed 220,806 agreements. In this case, we don't know how many agreements were supervised by the corruption organization of the government, I by the private monitors or agencies or NGOs who provide
Right.
that kind of. We can create a system to control that, and we can make it in different countries, because the issue is that sometimes the data and information related with the finances of the countries are not structured, and we can create standards that, for example, we say the information must be provided in this way, like an international standard, like a good practice. And in your case, with your background, with your connection, we can create different committees, for example, in order to debate specific cases. We can make brainstorming, and it will give us more support when we want to negotiate. For example, regular 3/4, like an NGO, we are proposing that the societies might be complemented by a four power. Usually, I don't know, in Germany, let's in the United States and most countries of South America, we divide the power of the states in executive, legislative, and judicial. And we are talking that we need a four power that will be supported by anti-reductionist scientific methods, by the frontier of technology and science, and by the computational modelation and mathematical modelation. So, with that point in mind, we are trying to defy the governments. For the reason, one of the reasons that I receive menaces in Colombia is that we are defying the politicians and the corrupt, and we need to understand that complexity. And if we connect academics, PhD, post PhDs like you, as you, and and the people who keeps on the edge, I think that we can offer something globally. And you know that some solutions are scalable, but that's the most important part, the research. So that's like the core, and I'm very aware about it. For example, in my case, I perceive that the effort to draft two patents is similar than create a publication of in a doctoral, in a PhD level, for example, because you need to research the prior art of the technical field. So that's that, like an example about it. I think that we can make, in fact, a partnership. I feel confident about it, but I want to explain how we can match with the puzzle. And we know, we offer the services. For example, I can lead the negotiation and things like that. And when we have the resources, we can start. That, like, we can make at this moment, because the people, if you understand, at least in Hispanoamerica, the people is very bored and tired and frustrated about corruption. And I think that technology is the solution about it, and science, and we can make something like this. We have something that like, we are with a pain that people wants to solve. That's like the point. We hearing you, Boris.
I understand. I think what is not clear to me yet is what do you need from me? Like what kind of contribution do you need? Do you need my like input, or do you want to brainstorm ideas? Or I don't really yet understand. Maybe Boris, you can also clarify.
Okay. I don't like the speech that Andres is saying, because I think he's I see Andres out of everything. For example, I want to show you. Let me share my screen. This is something that I've been doing to stop or to prevent, right, corruption. I have a software. I'm a computer and system engineer. I have my master's degrees also. I'm a teacher at the university, two universities to be exact, here in Colombia. So this is a little part, if you read, this is a little part of how in Colombia we don't receive any support for foreign countries. For example, in 1909, many countries, Germany, Japan, United States, they created an algorithm to prevent or to give it to us the opportunity not to have intermediaries in projects, and so we can pay those projects, us the chance to be free to make my own or our Colombian money, digital Colombian money. All right. So that was at the same time we with the change from IP version 4, Internet Protocol version 4, to Internet Protocol version 6. So that means 32 bits against 128 bits, right? So what Colombia says, or the government, in 1914, in 2014, they said that we don't have the law, we don't have the technical, we don't have the servers and everything, right? So in 1916, Colombia decided to say to those countries that they were trying to give us, right, digital tools to stop in some way corruptions. They say, hey, we don't want that. We want to keep on payment or doing business and whatever with the Colombian peso. So this is something that David is going to fight to Goliath. Come on, man. Right? So that's what I said. I don't like the speech of Andres. And Andres is out of everything. He's out of everything. And with all my respect, Colombia, okay, we have corruption, but from being a teacher, for being a computer and system engineering like me, what am I doing? I have to do something. So I decided with some friends a software, right, that follows and make all those corrupt people in the government follow the step by step according to the rules to pay a contract the way it is, right? So this is something that is going to finish someday, but right now we have to do something.
Bori, I want to continue with the question of Niels with the what do we need about it. You are talking about that Colombia, and I am not. I don't have good expectation that we create something in Colombia. Colombia is very
for people, and I'm not talking about males. Here in Colombia, you can count with many professional people that you don't know, that know things about corruption, and we are doing things against corruption.
But
right?
I think
it's
that
not only you. It's not only you.
the point is that
Okay.
Colombia will be a follower.
Now, the point here, nails. What I think you can do, hey, share with me, for example, and I invite you, nails, to keep on contact with me, and we can share our experience about what we're doing. I really care, and I really like that those links that you share, because I can show you my links also. I'm working at the university that I'm working with. I'm working on that also with the students at the university.
But Boris, let me give
at the academy.
Let me give a proposal in order to connect people as you and people like Niels. So we want to create a method to all the people who are working in artificial intelligence and technology for corruption. I want to connect all of them. That's one of my purposes, and I want to explain it. The point is that I am have been negotiating with Colombia a lot of years, and Colombia will be a follower. At this moment, I want to propose United States to become the country in the number top one in United Nations e-government index and World Bank GovTech index, maturity GovTech index, and all of the countries could follow United States. We can have trust in the United States. I have been making connection with the government in the United States, and they have some initiatives who could be improved. And in this case, for example, if we connect with Niels and with you, and we connect ideas in order to start with the United States, it will be better. Colombia will be not be a pioneer, and you can rate it. Oh, sorry, sorry, and it's raining at this moment. Colombia will be not a pioneer. Colombia will be a follower. We need to pressure Colombia with the following way. United States is doing this while Colombia is not doing this. If you try to start in Colombia, they will kill us. That's what I will tell you. I receive menaces and I know that it is related for this and all of the corruption in Colombia. You must understand it. I already proposed it in to the United States, and we need to connect us, and Colombia will follow something. You can attack Colombia in a hard way because they will kill us. I already was menaced. So it's important to understand it because I already attempted a lot of things to make it. Well, that's something important. I think, Boris, that you can connect me through LinkedIn. I would like to, we are not connected on LinkedIn. Connect with me and connect you in the group, and we can talk in the group on LinkedIn in order to introduce Niels. That's a good way. Well, I don't know if Niels told me that he wants to know how can be what do we need about him. The point is that you are a researcher. You already know the methods to reach the frontier in a particular
Niels,
knowledge.
for example,
Yes.
Boris Barbosa is going or is trying to change many. I have 14 already here in Colombia, and I change almost for free from IPv4 to IPv6. That's something, right? Because it's more secure. It's a protocol that not everybody domain or take like IPv4, and those examples we have it here every day with WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the most insecure chat platform. That's the fact. So,
Boris, you are going out of the.
software
We have
is
4
working.
goals for this meeting, and you
My
are talking
software
of different.
is working
Bo-
in IPv4 and IPv6.
Boris,
I prefer
Niels
That's something. For
have
example,
9 minutes, and you are talking about information security, and we have 4 goals of this meeting. If you read it, and I want to concrete with Niels because we don't know if we can attend us in 1
so
month.
why did you invite me?
So you must understand that you are talking in Colombia. We are not innovating in the frontier. Niels is a post PhD in terms of artificial intelligence. He is an expert globally, and we need to combine them to be like a. He can be our light. You must understand
Me
that.
too.
Yes,
And I have and I know more people like you about
but
that.
you need to understand that.
It's not for this conversation is not about Niels.
No, but it's
Niels,
important.
I'm sorry.
No, the conversation is about Neil because it's the time of Neil. Yesterday we have the time. We can have another video meeting with us in any time, and then we talk with
No,
Niels. And I think that's the part
I don't agree with you.
because
I
the,
don't
the
agree
people
with
in
you.
developed countries
No,
is
no, no,
very
no,
strict with the time.
no,
O
no.
sea,
You have to have this conversation and this meeting with the Colombian professional of
yes,
the intelligence,
that's not the point.
machine learning, big data.
Like as I told you, in South America, nobody make patents of software. If you want to be on the reach, that's very important.
I have my software patent here in Colombia. I have it.
Colombia
I
do not
have it.
allow patents. Please, Boris, Niels,
Come on, man.
can you continue? If you have any other question or if you want to go more deep, because we don't know if you can
No,
attend us
I don't have any
more
question.
minutes.
I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you because you are talking about Colombia like we are the worst. And we don't, because I am Colombian and I'm not corrupt. I'm not corrupt.
I am not. I am not talking about you.
Respect.
No,
Yes, sir. Respect. Respect me.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the politics and the
Come
people
on,
in
you're
the
talking
government.
about Colombia.
They,
So if Colombia is so big, it's so
Well,
bad for you.
Boris, we are not talking about Colombia. Please, Neil, can we continue? We can talk later, please, please. He have only 6 minutes because he have to attend only 20:45, and we have 6 minutes.
Yeah, indeed. I have to leave soon. I have another meeting coming up. I am slightly puzzled, to be honest. It's gonna be a bit difficult for me to know in which capacity I would be involved. So I think for now I would probably leave you to it. Happy to share further resources if I find them, and if you have a concrete proposal that you want to pass on to U4, please feel free to send it over. I think other than that, I'm afraid I cannot be of much help for you.
No, I have a clear scope how we can connect. I have a plan. In fact, maybe you don't understand, but it was our first approach. Thanks for attending us, and we will make it, the proposal at the right moment. For this moment, I need to uh, solve my security because I was menaced in Colombia for this kind of negotiations, and I need to travel to United States and request a political asylum. And I'm going to make a proposal for United States, and I think that we can work in parallel, but with United States and maybe Germany, with the thing that we can make, or Europe. But in Colombia, it will be very hard, and we have our life in risk if we continue with it, or unless in my case, if I keep here in Colombia. I already was menaced. So the point is very complex in this kind of country. I am talking about Boris is corrupt. I am talking about the politicians of Colombia and the people who are working in the government, in the state, and that's the point. So uh, let me go with that proposal. Uh, Anyhow, this is a proposal that I make for the people as you that are mainly researchers and make a publication in journals. I want to make a proposal in order to be co-inventors, because in this process we can brainstorm, we can have methods to be co-inventors. If we start working, we can have ideas about how to tackle. It is very important in your case because you are a post PhD in that field, and you know if something is new or not. So that's like a light in this world, and for this one, I think that you are very important. Maybe as a consultant, a partner, and as I told you, if we make a negotiation, we told that we have a potential an intention letters with you four or with Niels about the specific affairs, because what I am proposing at this moment, for example, services related with US research. So when you are making US research, you start to innovate, and you don't know the your last point. But if for example, I was talking with someone with USA budget that gov, and I told him we want to innovate in the UX because they want to make the budget of the United States in an interactive way and easy to understand for the people. I propose something similar in Colombia, and they reply stupid things in letters, and they say they are not interested. Someone from the United States told me it could be great, but I need to prepare a proposal. I have her in my LinkedIn, and so for in this case, I propose Boris that connect with us on LinkedIn. We create groups. We propose that we want to make a partnership. We invite the people of U4. I wrote a proposal, and we share the proposal in the group, and the people can validate it, and we can start a potential partner in this process. But I think that your light in this process is very important, because I know that Boris has a lot of talent, but Boris is not respected as an international expert in artificial intelligence. Niels is respected in this way and is connected with the people. I have been trying to connect people as Boris and Niels during the last 8 years, and it is very difficult. You know, Niels, that if you want to in your network, I don't know how many people is expert in artificial intelligence for corruption. 100 in the world. If you have a number,
How many people in my network are experts in AI and corruption?
yes.
Hard to say. Quite a few by now, I think. I mean, it's not a very big field yet, right? But
But
I know some people who are working on this, for example, in Brazil. I can share a few podcast links here for you. I would suggest that if you have any other like concrete suggestions or proposals, I think it would be easiest if you just send them over written, and then I think it's easier for me to actually evaluate them, because I think this conversation today left me a little bit puzzled. So I would say maybe it's best if you send it
not
over.
going anywhere.
I'm happy to take a look. I will share, like, we have a podcast where we tackle the topic. So if you want to listen to that, maybe, and have feedback on that, I'm happy to also engage in that. But unfortunately, I have to leave now.
I have two proposals.
With you. I wish you all the best, and success with it.
Great.
All right, take care.
Thank you, Nils. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Nils.
Si quiere, seguimos hablando, Boris y Daniel, pues para que concretemos.